This is the moment when I realized that my dream had become real. In November, I finally escaped the Finnish winter and experienced my dream of remote working abroad. I traveled to Portugal and spent most of the time in Cascais. Here are my favorite moments and why this trip meant so much to me. Let's start with highlight number 8, trip to Capo da Roca. 20 minutes drive and €12 later I arrived at this most westerly point of mainland Europe. I was lucky to visit there during rain because that meant that tourists ran away, but look at this wind. I guess the reason why tourists come here is that then you can say that you have been on the most western point of mainland Europe, and of course you wanna get that cool selfie like this. Next highlight of the trip requires a bit of context. This is how dark Finland was before I was leaving, and we were just getting our first snow. So this is why highlight number 7 is eating out, meaning eating outdoors. You can't imagine the feeling of sitting outdoors without feeling cold. I'm gonna present you my favorite restaurant, which was a really lovely taco bar in Cascais. And maybe the reason for loving this place was not just the food, but the company. Yes, what a cutie. And then I had energy to go out. Highlight number 6 is Luna House, the co-working hotel that I stayed for over 2 weeks. This is Luna, the dog of the house. And this was my room. I love all the green stuff, all the lights, simplicity, wooden floors. And I had a own private bathroom with shower. So what is there not to like? And this is the shared living room. Then we had this dining room or the breakfast table. So this accommodation included breakfast, and then the guests who stayed for a longer period were allowed to use the kitchen so that I could keep my own food in the refrigerator and cook my own food. And I worked every day outdoors, my laptop on that table, because it was such a lovely weather, something like plus 20 degrees. And it was a peaceful neighborhood, just 10 minutes walk from the city center. And there were also other work spaces available. This is the yoga place that they organized yoga every day. And then these office spaces that you could use for meetings or whatever. So if you wanted to have like more peaceful environment, you could come here because they had a silent side here as well. But I enjoyed just working outdoors. I spent like maybe just a couple of morning hours indoors, and as the sun rose I was out all day. They also have a pool, and then these chairs you can move around just to the spot where the sun is shining. Of course I had to test the pool just a little bit. That hotel was hosted by Ukrainian young women. So they are refugees who have escaped war. Why wouldn't I wanna support that kind of business? And you could do that as well. The hostel is really affordable. It's much cheaper than any hotels, and you get all that space. And it's also nice that because other people staying there are maybe around 10 rooms or only, but those are other people who are remote working. And so you can make friends if you want, but you can have your own peaceful time if you want that. So you have that different kind of possibility to connect with other people than in hotels, I guess. So I really highly recommend you, if you ever consider going to Cascais, to visit Luna House and tell them that I recommended them because I really loved staying there. Highlight number 5. Living by the sea. Lisbon is all about experience city life and lots of stairs, but Cascais is located by the beach, by the sea. So it felt so good after the workday to go for a long walk and see all the activities on the beach. And one lunchtime I even made a train trip to Estoril. It's just like a 10 minutes train trip, and I took my lunch with me and snacked my lunch while watching people surfing there. And it felt really like all that fresh air and light and wind. I felt refreshed after my lunch and not just tired. Highland number 4, village of Sintra and Palace Quinta de Recalera. Sintra village is located just 20 minutes drive from Cascais, but then you have to also walk long distances to get to the palaces. Quinta de Recalera is 16th century palace with luxurious park with very mysteric atmosphere. I visited this park with a local photographer so that I could get some new profile photos myself. I enjoyed just spending time outdoors. It was like walking in a storybook. Highlight number 3, free outdoor gyms. These gyms were so full of light and happy people and happy dogs running around, so when you trained there you could just watch the sky or dogs playing around. It made one feel so good. I visited these gyms like daily because it just felt like natural part of life. Highlight number 2, Bocado Inferno at the sunset time. This is when people head to these cliffs because sunset just colors the cliffs so beautiful, and you see all the seabirds flying and clouds lining to the horizons when the sun is setting. This atmosphere just makes you feel really peaceful and happy. Highlight number 1, biking along the coastline. I rented an electric bike and this is the road I took. It's really safe to ride and amazing views along the way. Strength of the nature, beauty of that all. I was so happy. I could do this like every day. Definitely a highlight of my trip. These 3 weeks felt like I was living the life I wanna live. Only thing I was missing was my friends and family. I felt that I was more active, I had more energy, I was filled with joy. So my plan now is to recreate this trip, but next time with friends and family.